What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Average Homeowner's channel. Today we are tackling the first step in our yard project, which is laying down humic acid. Let's get into it. So the first step today is we're actually going to put down some Humic DC, some humic acid from Anderson's. We're going to do that on the entire lawn, and what that's going to do, while it does not provide a substantial boost in any nutrients, it does provide a base for those nutrients to absorb into and to help the soil repair itself with nutrients as time goes on and as we build this lawn up. We are going to have multiple fertilizers throughout the year. Like I said, we're going to have the leveling project. We're going to have an aeration and seeding project in the back as we get that Bermuda grown up. One of the nice things is that we do have Bermuda as the natural cover crop here in this part of southeast Texas. But that said, when you do sod Bermuda, like the front and the mid backyard is, that sodded Bermuda is going to be hybrid and not natural Bermuda. So we're actually going to need to seed the entire thing, like I said, probably with blackjack. Blackjack seed seems to be incredibly drought resistant and tends to grow a little taller. We're not going to use any micro Bermudas or anything like that. We're not going to mix in any fescues. We're going to keep it in the summer and spring with the Bermudas and in the winter with the Ryes. So we want to have a nice yard all year long, but like I said, we're not trying to bring in a real mower and turn this into a golf course. We just want a beautiful yard to be proud of, and we're going to show you how we do it. So one of the first things we did on this lawn, because of the way it's laid out, is go through and put down a layer of 10-10-10 fertilizer. We did that before the sod was laid, just to make sure that the soil was prepared in advance, and the sod had a little bit of a jump start because it was laid in the winter. We wanted to make sure we had a good base down underneath of it in the soil. Today we're putting down a layer of humic acid on the entire yard, so we got a 40-pound bag that should cover about 40,000 square feet. We're not doing an overkill treatment, we're just putting down enough to give our yard a good base. I plan on doing this basically every 1 to 2 months and really giving something that will help the yard be able to retain nutrients and improve our soil quality over time. We're not looking for a one-time home run. This isn't going to do anything to turn our grass bright green. It's not a fertilizer treatment. Humic acid will go in the soil and help the soil repair itself and be able to hold nutrients that we give to the lawn into the future. All right, so let's take a look at what we have for a lawn currently. This is going to be the front yard. The front yard is going to be sodded. We've got 2 trees that are getting started. A lot going on up here. We've got the ditches. There was some sod. There was not sod in other areas because there was Bermuda growing. Now, if we look at the backyard, this is where the Bermuda sod is going to stop and the natural dirt and ryegrass begin. Now, with that ryegrass, it'll die off in the summer, but for now, we're just going to go ahead and put the humic acid on everything. And we will eventually aerate this back piece, and we will put down some Bermuda seed, and that'll be a whole other project that we'll see on the channel. We're also going to do some things with the flower beds. We're going to do some raised beds, dress up the trees, probably install a couple trees, and we're going to have a leveling project in the future, at least in the front and side yards, just to make everything look really smooth and even. So that said, let's go ahead and get to putting down some humic acid. All right, so we're ready to get started. For this treatment, we are using the Scott's Turf Builder DLX broadcast spreader, and we're using the Humic DC from Anderson's. So 40-pound bag of that. And we're going to take a look at the label here. And for a Scott's broadcast spreader, we are looking at 4-foot width of coverage and 1 pound per 1,000 square feet. So this will be enough to do almost the whole yard. So let's go ahead and get this put in and get started. I think those birds think I'm about to put down some seed and they're going to be little thieves and steal it, but today it's just humic acid, so they're not going to get much out of me. Not today, birdos! One of the things I like about the Anderson's Humic DG is it's actually very small spreadable pellets, and that's what makes them so great. The product they put out gives us the ability to really get it down on the lawn in a smooth, consistent fashion. Okay, so here we go, putting down the humic acid. Don't judge my lines with the spreader. This is a new lawn and it is incredibly lumpy and bumpy. It was installed while we were getting 15 inches of rain down here because we needed to move in. So it is a little rough. You'll see me stop a few times. That's because I walked into a rut and jammed the spreader. But all in all, it was a pretty easy way to spread the product on the lawn. One of the things I like about this is, like I was saying earlier, I have two different grass types here right now. So this is a product that will help me amend the soil over time and build up the base of the soil itself. So I am having soil tests done over the next week and a half. It should be in, and I'll get it cored and sent out for testing. So it'll really tell us what we need to do to get this soil where it needs to be. But along the way, we do want to still build up the base, and this allows us to put this product down every month, 2 months, and start building a natural layer inside of this clay base that is this Southeast Texas soil. So we're finishing up the spread here. I'm not going to take you through the whole thing, but as always with anything, it's good to go ahead and blow your driveway off. If you get in a good habit of that, over time, it will help with making sure you don't get any iron stains from fertilizers and things like that. That's it for our first Humic treatment on the new lawn. As you can see from the video, and I talked about it a little bit during the voiceover, two very different types of grass we have going on here with the sodded Bermuda and the seeded rye in the rear, which will eventually be Bermuda once we get to that. But that's a project for the future. We will cover the aeration of that. We'll probably seed it. We'll cover watering schedules. But for next week, tune in because we're going to be doing our first pest control treatment on the home and the yard. And we're going to be going into detail about some of the different compounds and chemicals that you can use. Pet safe, not pet safe. My wife and I do have dogs, so we have to be very careful about what we put on the yard. So we'll be going very deep into pet safe and pet friendly chemicals to treat your yard and your foundation with to ensure that you don't get those insects in the house. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.